all of Donald Glass's summer help annoying, ignorant children. The young adults, or camper summer help, were fond of gossiping. It was rumored that Francine once had an affair with Donald Glass, and that was how she held on to her position, and her superiority. Glass was married. Maybe Francine was blackmailing him, telling him that if she wasn't given a certain power, she'd tell his wife, Marie. And Marie, or so rumor had it, could be jealous and very threatening when she chose to be. Hard to believe. In public, Marie was always the model of decorum, slim and regal, slightly younger than Donald, but certainly older than Francine. Teens and young adults love to speculate. At Maura's age, the thought of any of the older staff together, all seeming so much older than she was at the time, was simply gross. Tonight, by not being there, Francine had put herself in a bad position. She hadn't shown up for work. A no-show without a call was grounds for dismissal, though Maura seriously doubted that Francine would be fired. Maura looked around, gravely and silently surveying her group before beginning again. She didn't get a chance. Someone spoke up. A young teenager. "They should call it the torture tree or the hangman's tree, or something besides the history tree," he said. The boy's name was Mark Hartford, Maura thought. She'd supervised a game at the pool one day when he had been playing. He was a nice kid, curious, and maybe because he was an adolescent boy, boisterous. He also had an older brother, Niels, in college already. Mark's brother wasn't quite as nice. He knew that many of the workers were his own age or younger, and he liked to lord his status as a guest over them. He was bearable, however. "The torture tree? Oh, Lord, you little heathen." Niels had a girlfriend, Rachel Lawrence. She was nicer than Niels, unless Niels was around. Then she behaved with a great deal of superiority as well. But Maura realized Niels and Rachel were at the campfire that night. They had just joined quietly. Quietly, which was amazing in itself. Niels liked to make an entrance most of the time, making sure that everyone saw him. Rachel had her hands set upon Mark's shoulders, even as she called him a heathen. She looked scared, or nervous maybe, Maura thought. Maybe it was for effect. Niels set his arm around her shoulders, as a good, protective boyfriend should. They made a cute family picture, a young adult male with his chosen mate and a young one under their wings. Maura was surprised they were on the tour. Niels had said something the other day about the fact that they were too mature for campfire ghost stories. "Torture tree, yes, that would be better," Mark said. He wasn't arguing with Rachel. He was determined that he was right. "Poor Giselle. She was really tortured there, right?" Mark and the other young teens were wide-eyed. Teenagers that age liked the sensational, and they liked it grisly. "She was dragged there and hanged, so yes, I'm sure it was torture," Maura said. "But it was the history tree long before a plantation was built here, years and years ago," Maura said. "That was the Native American name for it. The Timucua were here years before the Spanish came. They called it the history tree because even back then, the old oak had grown together with a palm, and it's been that way since. Anyway, we'll be seeing the history tree soon enough," she said softly. "The tree that first welcomed terror when the beautiful Giselle was tormented and hanged from the tree until dead. And where, so they say, the hauntings and horrors of the history tree began." Maura saw more than one of her audience members glance back over the area of sweeping manicured lawn and toward the ranch, as if assuring themselves that more than the night and the spooky draped trees existed, that there was light and safety not far away. The new buildings Donald Glass had erected were elegant and beautiful. With St. Augustine just an hour and a half in one direction, and Disney and Universal and other theme parks just an hour and a half to the south, not to mention a nice proximity to the